Your Excellency, Dr. Thomas Boniai, Chairperson of the African Union and President of the Republic of Benin. Your Excellency, Ato Hailemariam Desalegn, Prime Minister of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia. Dr. Zheng Ping, outgoing Chairperson of the African Union Commission. The Deputy Chairperson, the outgoing commissioners and the incoming commissioners, members of the AU Commission staff, members of the Permanent Representative Committee, PRC, members of the Diplomatic Corps, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. I stand before you today as a humble servant of the African continent and its people, ready, together with the newly elected Commission, to join the hundreds of African Commission staff who have held the banner of the African Union flying high. The position has been held by an illustrious list of selfless and dedicated Africans who have had the privilege and honor of leading the Secretariat and the Commission of a preeminent continental organization, first the Organization of African Unity, and now the African Union. While I'm filled with humility and honor that I've been elected into this position, the magnitude of the task does not escape me. Let me therefore say that from the onset that I'll expect to stand on the shoulders of the giants that have preceded me, working together with the member states and other partners to create a prosperous Africa which is at peace with itself and the world. In this regard, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to the current chairperson of the African Union, who is not only here amongst us today, but who has given me his full support and encouragement since my election, the President of Benin, His Excellency, Dr. Thomas Boniai. We are also honored to have our host, the Ethiopian Prime Minister, His Excellency Ato Hailemariam Desalegn, with us. We wish to convey best wishes to him as he discharges the duties of the office of Prime Minister of this great country, building a developmental state on the foundations of an ancient and progressive civilization. At this moment, I also wish to pay tribute to one of Africa's great sons, a visionary, a firm proponent of the renaissance of the continent, the late Prime Minister, Ato Meles Zenawi, who made such a significant contribution to Ethiopia, Africa, and to humanity as a whole. I also want to acknowledge the achievements and the efforts of my predecessor and outgoing chairperson of the African Union Commission, Dr. Zheng Ping. Thank you, Dr. Ping, for working tirelessly these past 4.5 years to build on the work of those who have come before us, such as President Alpha Konare and others, including the founders of our organization. Through your commitment and dedication during your term of service, the African Union Commission has made many strides, and I will therefore build on the foundation that you have laid. Merci, my friend. Of course, paying tribute to the chair of the Commission goes hand in hand to paying tribute to the commissioners and the rest of the team that worked with him, because all of us are as good as our teams. So thank you to the commissioners and to all the staff of the African Union for the progress that we have achieved as a continent. Excellencies, distinguished guests, the eve of the 50th anniversary of the founding of the Organization of African Union offers us a golden opportunity to take stock of where we've come from and where we are today in order to assist us to plan for the journey ahead. At this point, I would like to quote from former President Nelson Mandela in his long walk to freedom. I quote, "I've walked a long road to freedom. I tried not to falter. I've missed steps along the way, but I have discovered the secret that after climbing the great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb. I've taken a moment to rest, to steal a view of the glorious vista that surrounds me, to look at the distance I've come. But I can only rest for a moment, for with freedom comes responsibilities, and I dare not linger, for my long walk is not ended," close quote. And I think this long walk, though here it's referred to Mandela's walk to freedom, can also be seen as the long walk of the continent. Indeed, our long walk to a prosperous, peaceful, and integrated Africa has not ended, and there are many more hills to climb ahead of us. Looking at the distance we have traveled, it might be interesting to just recall where we come from in the distant past. And there is no doubt today that Africa is the cradle of humanity and advanced civilization. We've had a very rich and proud history as Africans on this continent. And as I say, we have had advanced civilizations, as evidenced by the architect of Egypt, the Sphinx and the pyramids, the Tunisian city of Carthage, the great Zimbabwe, the old city of Timbuktu, and many others. If we look at the intricate sculptures of Makonde of Tanzania and Mozambique, the Benin bronzes and in Nigeria, and the beautiful rock paintings of the Drakensberg in Algeria. And we can also boast of organized, highly organized kingdoms from the Mesopotamia, the Ashanti, the Monomotapa, to name a few. We also have a rich astronomical heritage. The Dogon people of Mali have generational knowledge, for instance, of the star Sirius A and B, which appears only once in 50 years. But scientists and astronomers are only now discovering what the Dogon people have known for generations. Gender equality flourished in our ancient lands, where women occupied positions of responsibility. For an example, we had Queen Nzinga of Angola, Makeda, the Queen of Sheba of Ethiopia, Queen Nefertiti of Egypt, Nehenda of Zimbabwe, Ya Asewantawe of the Ashanti Empire, Dahia Al-Khani of Mauritania, Buktu of Mali, and many, many other women that held very great responsibilities in our ancient civilizations. Of course, this great history was followed by a darker side of our history, which had slavery and colonialism. But of course, the continent, through the anti-colonial struggles and wars of liberation, responded to that and made sure it brings to an end that dark side of our history. And of course, our forebearers decided to unite and created the Organization of African Unity. At the launch of the AU in 1963, the Emperor Haile Selassie, as the first chairperson, said, I quote, "We name as our first great task the final liberation of those Africans still dominated by foreign exploitation and control." And he continued, "As we renew our vow that all Africa shall be free, let us also resolve that old wounds shall be healed and past scars forgotten, and memories of the past injustice shall not divert us from more pressing business at hand. We shall live in peace with our former colonizers, shunning recrimination and bitterness, and forswearing the luxury of vengeance and retaliation, lest the acid of hatred erode our souls and poison our hearts." I close quotes. So today, we can say without fear of contradiction that indeed the founding generation of this organization defined and fulfilled their mission to liberate the continent. And it is up to us to now, as we have done in the AU, defined our own mission, and it is up to us to fulfill it and not betray it.